Welcome back to Around Milwaukee. Thanks for joining me on another segment of Let's Go Clubbing. With me tonight is Esther Avilés from Marquette's Empowerment Organization. Empowerment aims towards engaging Marquette students in dialogue concerning intersectional feminism. Thank you for joining me tonight. To start off, what is the mission of Empowerment or the Empowerment Organization?
So as you stated, we're geared towards intersectional feminism. So our goal is to create relevant conversation around issues concerning intersectional feminism and start a dialogue on campus, as well as spur social action in the community and on campus. So that looks at engaging students in meaningful discussion, as well as action and activities that promote that.
That's great. So how do you want this organization to impact our campus?
So my dream for empowerment is that it really gives students a sense of the issues that we face because of gender and gender roles and gender stereotypes. And as such, I want students to be engaged and feel supported by the community and by empowerment to have these really hard discussions in a fun way and really enjoy a meaningful sense of devotion and sense of pride in that activism.
Yeah, you guys deal with such powerful issues, and that's a huge undertaking. So how did you get interested in these issues, and how did you become involved with this club?
Well, I'm originally from California, from San Francisco, and there you really have a culture of activism that maybe you don't have in Milwaukee, especially at Marquette, at such a Catholic, white institution. Therefore, I kind of sought out opportunities to get engaged in social justice conversations and in that activism. And through that, I came to learn about empowerment and came to fall in love with the leaders that were there and the discussions that we had, and really saw how special it was to me and that we need it on campus to support a wide variety of students, because I think it's important. Yeah.
That's great, yes. So what kind of events do you guys sponsor here on campus?
So we have bi-monthly meetings, general body meetings. In the beginning of the semester, we pool a bunch of topics ranging from porn, sex work, and gender stereotypes to racism, transphobia, Islamophobia, and how they intersect with gender, the issues of gender. And we meet bi-monthly, we usually with a faculty mediator to discuss the issues and really have some great conversations. On top of that, we collaborate with different student organizations on campus to put on a ton of fun events. So we're looking at this semester partnering with GSA, which is the Gender Sexuality Alliance, to put on How to Be an Ally. We're also doing an anti-feminist ice cream social, which is kind of a fun way for those in empowerment to come and bring their friends who maybe aren't aware of what the term feminism means. Maybe they're a little put off by the term, and kind of challenge that stigma around the word feminism with ice cream, which is really fun and yummy. We're also doing with Sigma Lambda Beta next semester. We put on a walk a mile in her shoes, which fights against sexual violence and domestic violence. And we also do the vagina monologues yearly, which is a play by Eve Ensler, which is a really fun opportunity to challenge that fear of vaginas.
Well, so thank you for joining us. Can you just quick tell us how students can get involved?
Oh yes, you can find us on Marquette Involvement link, also on Facebook, and email me directly as well to get on the email list. We love to hear from you, and I hope you would find us somehow.
All right, so check them out. Well, thank you for joining me, Esther.
Yeah,
now back to you, Duncan.
Well, thanks, Becca. Well, it's that time of the day again, Marquette. That's all right. It's time for the weather. Well, today was a disappointment as scattered clouds promised rain, but all we got was a muggy Monday here in Milwaukee. But never fear, faithful MUT viewers. Make sure you break out your umbrellas tomorrow morning, as we've got rainy skies coming in from the west. That's it for those wonderful wet days, as starting Wednesday, the week will be nothing but sun, 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 and more sun. Tomorrow will stay at a pretty nice temperature with a high of 62, and then you'll see those degrees start to drop. Wednesday and Thursday will stay pretty consistent with highs of 61 and 58, but watch out. That humidity is going to have you sweating like a soccer player on a hot summer day. If you're like me, and I'm sure many of you are, It'll be awful when you're wearing all those fancy dancy suits you got locked away in the closet. Thankfully, Friday will have a low of 44 degrees, but after that, the weekend will bump back up to those autumn temperatures you've come to know and love. Now, I know it's a common fear around campus that we'll get torn apart by a hurricane or a tornado. Well, let me be the first to reassure you that winds over the week will stay pretty low, lucky for us, and the chances of a twister ripping through campus are lower than ever before. And finally, when it comes to those terrible spores and that gross mold, well, it's not looking so good. The weed pollen count at last glance was hovering around the moderate range, which is not too bad. It's the mold that you've got to watch out for, as that cladosporium is getting pretty dang high, and I'm sure all of us know the dangers of cladosporium. Am I right? Well, that's all we have for the weather tonight. Coming up next, we have your local news and what you could be doing in Milwaukee this week. Stay tuned.